Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. You might notice this right off the bat, but my art style has slightly changed. I've been getting into drawing more pencil sketches and doodles in my sketchbook rather than doing complete illustrations with my markers like I have been doing in the past. This is mainly due to the fact that I recently acquired a new fancy Tombow pencil, but we're not going to talk about that. I thought instead I'd take this opportunity to talk a bit about art style. It's a topic that many have requested for these sketchbook sessions, so I'm glad to finally be addressing it. Before we get into it though, I'd like to say a huge thank you to 20k subscribers. It's absolutely insane to think that 20,000 people worldwide have seen a video on my channel and decided to subscribe and support me. It means a lot to me, so thank you to everyone, whether you're new here or whether you've been with me since the beginning, and let's get started. So I guess we can start off with the question, what is art style? To me, an art style is the defining traits of an artist's work. It's a way to recognize someone's artwork no matter what the situation is or what they're drawing, and I think it's something that a lot of beginner artists tend to crave. Art style is kind of like an identity, and all of us want our work to get recognized by someone. For the longest time, when I was starting art, I wanted to have my own art style that was unique to me. Early on, I was very into a chibi manga art style with huge eyes and no visible noses and very drastic and very dramatic features. It was very simplified, and I guess that makes sense given I was just starting. Afterwards, I took a lot of direct inspiration from the artist Christina Loray. Many of you probably know her from YouTube and Instagram. I remember me and my friends used to find pictures of her art on Google on our iPads during school and then redraw them. And I remember being so proud of mine. After that, I slowly drifted towards more of a cartoony/anime-esque art style. I did more cell shading, mostly because I didn't know how to do soft shading with my markers, and my line art was also very thick and didn't have any variation. I quickly dropped this style too because it was way too boring and it looked somewhat artificial in my eyes. Soon after, I started taking more inspiration from Disney movies. I was redrawing Disney princesses like Moana and Rapunzel, which I think I still have videos up of on my channel. Anyways, that was when I started letting go of finding an art style, and I just drew whatever I felt like. Most of it was direct copying from another art style or paintings that I did with my watercolors in my sketchbook. All of this combined is what led me to finding a style that I really like drawing in. Even now, I can't really see a specific style when I look at my art, but I feel like my audience and people who've seen your art and growth from the beginning are better at noticing small things that make my art unique to me. So don't feel discouraged if you yourself can't see any unique style in your work. As said by many artists before, you already have an art style, you just have to work on finding it and changing it to making it what you like. All in all, I think finding your art style, especially as young or a beginner artist, shouldn't be your main focus when you're starting. You should try learning the basics such as lighting, form, shape, and make sure to expand your focus to things like realism, painting, still lifes, and portraits. That's probably what helped me the most and led me to liking my art. And another thing that's really helpful is to learn the rules before you break them, basically, and just make sure that you know the basics before you delve off into finding your own style and what's comfortable for you. You don't have to consistently be drawing the same features in all your drawings for a style to be recognizable either. You don't always have to draw the same type of eyes or use the same color scheme in all your art. Honestly, drawing what you want is the best way to develop your art style, in my opinion. So now that we're done with the mini intro rant, let's talk about what I'm drawing. I was inspired to do more semi-realism after scrolling on Pinterest and finding a lot of pencil sketches that had this sort of semi-realistic style to them. I've done a couple sketches with this style earlier that I'll insert pictures of here, and it's a really fun art style. I feel like it's easier to get the proportions of the face with this style because it's more similar to real life, and with my anime style, I'm still playing around with things like how low I want the eyes to be, what shape the nose is, etc. I don't usually use references for my drawings and copy them directly, but I feel like if I don't have any pictures to look at and take inspiration off of, my drawings wouldn't have any variation to them and they would pretty much all look the exact same. You might have also noticed that during my art style switching rant, I was constantly switching between a cartoony anime art style and my semi-realism style. I think this is because I keep on getting bored of doing the same art style and only making minor changes over a long period of time, so every once in a while I need a big change to switch it up so art is still interesting for me. I have no doubt I'll be going back to my anime art style for my marker illustrations because I feel like this style wouldn't really mix that well with markers, and I like how the look of the graphite shading looks on this style better, but I'll stick to this style for the detailed sketches that I'm using, especially when I'm using direct Pinterest references. When I was drawing the first sketch, I was struggling quite a bit to replicate the original idea I had in my mind. I think the thing that throws it off the most is probably the eyes. They're a lot more dark compared to the rest of the drawing, just more of a lighter tone, and they don't really quite match the mood that I was going for either, or the style. The second drawing is probably my favorite one of the batch. I was doubting myself a lot when I was drawing it because I wasn't sure how to translate the reference I found on Pinterest into my own style. Honestly though, it came out super cute. I didn't follow any of the references exactly because I was using them mainly for the poses. I changed the hairstyle on the second one so I could add some bangs underneath the hat sort of thing, or else it looked like she was kind of bald. I also was scared of messing up the 3/4 angle with the drawing. Most of the time I draw the eyes first and then I draw the head last after I draw on all the other facial features, and that usually leads to some very wonky and misshapen heads. Thankfully for this drawing I did the head first, as you could see earlier, and then I went in with the guidelines, and that definitely helped me get the proportions right. One of the things I do want to study is face angles. I'm getting better at doing side profiles, but I really can't do the angle where your head is like tilting upwards. It just always looks weird even when I use a reference, so that's something that I'm definitely going to have to study in the future. Anyways, I did some light shading to just drawing as well to add more variation and make it more interesting because I wasn't planning on using any color for this spread. Also, I hope you guys like this like just plain sketching sort of videos. I am planning on doing more of these in the future because they're a lot faster to film and I have more interesting stuff to talk about when I am doing them. So I went in and I shaded the hat with this light gray color with the pencil. It's super satisfying to see it sped up, as you can see right now. As we head on to the last drawing, this is definitely the one that I was kind of the least energetic about. I had the least amount of ideas for it, and I was getting pretty tired of drawing because I did this all in one sitting. So I just found a random reference on Pinterest. Pretty much the first thing that I saw I just went with because it looked good enough. It's definitely not as detailed as any of the other drawings I did. I did it in a lot more of a simple style, and I didn't bother to shade anything that much. The lines I did were a lot more messy, and it was just kind of like a cooling down point because I also did film this later in the day, like after I ate dinner. I have to say, looking at references definitely did help me improve my pose ideas. I think I'll definitely be sketching a lot more in my sketchbook, and comment down below whether you guys would like to see more videos like this or if you prefer the ones with like the marker art and everything like that. I will also be hopefully putting a poll up later on in my community tab where I'll be asking you guys for some tutorial videos because I've been getting a lot of different requests for many of them, so make sure to comment down below any ideas you have for that as well. Anyways, thank you guys so much for sticking till the end of this video. If you have any other topics that you'd like me to mention in these sketchbook sessions, such as today I talked about art style a little bit, make sure to comment them down below as well because I'm sure to read all the comments. Also, because I'm going on vacation, I'm thinking of filming some ASMR videos in advance to post while I'm out. So tell me if you'd like to watch some ASMR style videos or if you want these ones where I'm just chatting with you guys instead. For the last finishing touches, I just shaded the hair really quickly and I darkened some lines because this sketch was definitely the messiest one that I did, like I mentioned before. Also, the reference picture did show that the girl had a dark brown hair, so I made sure to add that in. I was thinking about coloring the jacket, but I feel like that would have just been too much, so I just left it as it is, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!